my goodness. I cannot deal with this goodness. I cannot deal with this. Hello everyone, welcome back to Bruna Calix's channel. Today, she's gonna be showing you guys and teaching you guys how to crochet me and my friends, the Among Us characters. Goodbye!
My goodness, guys.
Baby, you know I'm not getting over you. Baby, you know I'm not getting over you. Hey, I'm starring in this drama because of you.
Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel today. Today I have three little friends here with me and we are going to be learning how to crochet these amazing cute little guys right here, which are the Among Us characters. And I've seen this everywhere on the internet, especially on Reddit, that I try to find ideas on Reddit, and I've seen this a lot there. Also now I'm seeing a lot on YouTube as well, and also on Instagram. So a lot of people are doing these and I wanted to share with you guys. And my idea was to create a pattern that you could actually make with any yarn type and weight that you want. For example, I have three right here that I've used the same pattern as I'm going to be showing you guys in today's video. So this one, the yellow one, is a yarn weight number 2. The green one is a number 3, and this one is a super chunky yarn. And they are all made with the same pattern as you're going to be seeing in today's videos. And also a lot of you guys have DM'd me on Instagram and also commented on some of my videos here on YouTube for me to create them. So I'm super excited to share with you guys today's video. This is my favorite one ever. It's super cute. I think I'm just gonna have this as a little decor, like for maybe the background of my videos, because it's super cute. Also, I wanted to share with you guys the little hats that they also have, and also the dead body. So let me know in the comments if you guys want to see the hats, and also which hats do you guys want to see me doing. Also, you guys can gift some of these for maybe birthdays or Christmas, for people that play this game. Even me, if I didn't play this game, I would love to have one as well, because come on, right? Why not? They are super cute. How are you not gonna love one of these, right? So I really hope you guys enjoy today's video, guys. So if you guys enjoy, make sure to give a massive thumbs up, and also don't forget to subscribe and to also turn on the notification bell to receive a notification every time I post a new cute video like this one. So enjoy the video, guys, and let's begin with today's tutorial. So the first thing that you guys will be choosing are the yarns that you're going to be using to create your Among Us characters. Here, as you can see, I've done one in green and one in yellow. And what I wanted to do is to create a pattern that you could actually use any yarn weight or any yarn type that you wanted, but following the same pattern. So that's what I did. So to create these two right here, I've used the same pattern, but just using different yarn weights right here. So this one is a number 2. And this one is a number 3. And then right here I have a super chunky yarn, as you can see right here, in which will be the one that I'm going to be using for today's video. And for the eyes, you guys can choose if you want to do in blue or gray. I decided that I wanted to do with gray because I think it looks a little bit nicer, but you guys can actually make in blue as well, as I saw a lot of people doing. So I saw a lot of people doing in blue and also a lot of people doing in gray. So I just decided to do in gray, so you guys can just choose the color that you guys want. I'm going to be using the same yarn that I'm going to be creating the body right here for my character, but you guys can also choose the blue one of the same yarn weight as well. That's just gonna depend on how you guys want your character to look like. And then the last two colors that we are going to be needing are black and white, just to finish it off the eyes right here. So black around this part of the eye, and then also to create the lighting that goes right on top or the sides. It just depends on where you want to place the white as well. Remember that you guys can do in any color you guys want. I'm using the gray one right here for the tutorial because it's a little bit thicker, and then I can show you guys exactly what I'm doing, and you guys can see very well the stitches as well. And if you guys are wondering what colors you guys want to do, I'm going to be adding the colors right here so you guys can see which colors you can do. And also I'm going to be adding in the description below some yarns that you guys can buy that will match these colors right here. So if you guys are wondering which color you can buy, I'm going to be having some links in the description as well, so feel free to check it out. And continuing right here with the materials that we are going to be using, I have right here a stitch marker, a small pair of scissors, a 6mm hook, a tapestry needle, and last but not least, I'm going to be using some stuffing so we can stuff the inside of our Among Us characters. You guys can buy any stuffing that you guys want. I bought this one from Amazon, so I'm also going to be linking that in the description below if you guys want to buy the same one. So enjoy the video, guys, and let's begin with today's tutorial. So first we are going to be making the legs, and I have right here one already completed, and I did fasten off right here because we are going to be then connecting the two together after. So I'm going to be showing you guys how to make one of the legs. So to begin with the leg, we are going to be starting here with the magic ring. So how you make a magic ring? So you're going to be wrapping the yarn around your fingers, and then you're going to cross the yarn right here, and then you're going to be inserting your hook right in between these two yarns, and you're going to be grabbing this yarn right here. Basically the working yarn, not the end of the yarn. And then right here, we are going to be just chaining one to secure the magic ring in place. This one doesn't count as a stitch or anything like that, it's just to secure the magic ring in place. So now we are going to be starting with the first row. So we are going to be chaining one as we are going to be working with single crochets. And then we are going to be creating 5 single crochets. When you create your first one, you're going to be inserting your stitch marker right here. And then right here, we are going to be creating 4 more single crochets. So once you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 single crochets, we are going to be pulling this yarn right here to close the magic ring. We are going to be removing the stitch marker, and into that stitch that the stitch marker was, we are going to be creating a slip stitch just to connect both ends together. So now for the next row, we are going to be chaining one, and then into this very first stitch right here, we are going to be creating 2 single crochets. Remember to add the stitch marker into the very first single crochet right here so we can connect into the right stitch. And then into this one, the same stitch, we are going to be creating another single crochet. So 2 single crochets going all the way around right here, and then I'll meet you guys right at the end. So when you get kind of towards the end, we had 5 stitches here in the magic ring, but we kind of have one right here, so we want to cover that stitch as well, otherwise it's going to close here the circle a little bit too tight. So what I like to do is just to create 1 single crochet right into that stitch, and then now we can connect both sides here with the slip stitch. So for this part, we are going to be doing 5 rows in total. So from this point all the way up to here, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 rows. So we are going to be chaining one so we can go into our 3rd row. And now for the next row, we are just going to be grabbing the back loops only. So right here, as you can see, if I grab this stitch, we have the front loop right here and the back loop. So we are just grabbing the back loops from this row. So you're gonna go into the next stitch and you're going to be grabbing the back loop only, and you create the single crochet right here. Remember to add the stitch marker into the first single crochet, and then we are going to be going and we are going to be creating 1 single crochet on each stitch. We are not going to be increasing anymore, we are just going to go up now. So just grab the back loops only and create your single crochets going all the way around. Make sure that you do have 11 single crochets, so you do want to keep checking the stitches as well and how many single crochets you are doing. So once you have your 11 single crochets, we are going to be removing the stitch marker and we are going to be connecting here to the other side, grabbing the entire stitch with a slip stitch. So for the middle yarn right here, I'm just gonna be cutting a little bit, but I'm still gonna be leaving a tiny little tail here. We're not gonna be weaving that in, we are just gonna be leaving that yarn right in the middle right there. Now I'm just gonna show you guys the next row because all of the rest are the same. So we are chaining one right here, as you saw, and then you're gonna go into this very first stitch right here. You can see that we have a little loop here. You're gonna go into that stitch, and here is gonna be our very first single crochet. And then we are going to be adding a stitch marker right here. And then we are going to be creating our single crochets going all the way around. So once you have your 11 single crochets, you're going to be removing the stitch marker, going into that single crochet, the first one with the stitch marker, and you're going to be connecting both sides here with the slip stitch. So now we are going to be repeating for 3 more rows. Once I have the 3 rows here completed, I will be back and then we are going to be basically connecting the 2 legs here together. So once you complete the first one, what you're going to be doing is cutting off the yarn and you're going to fasten off. How you're going to fasten off? It's super simple. So you're going to chain 1 right here, pull the yarn, and then you're going to be pulling here tight to fasten off. So that's how you fasten off. And then you're going to go ahead and you're going to be doing another one, but for this one we are not going to fasten off. We are going to be now joining with the other leg. So now to join the 2 legs together, we are going to be creating a chain of 2, just so we have a separation here in between the legs. We are going to be turning this leg on this side, as you guys can see. We are going to be choosing a stitch on the other one. So I'm going to be choosing this stitch quite close here to the fasten off. So this stitch right here, we are going to be placing the working yarn at the back of the hook. You're going to go through the stitch that you want to join with this leg. You're going to go through that stitch, and then you're going to basically slip stitch right here, just like that. So that's how we join both legs together. And then from here we are going to be going all the way around with single crochets, and we are going to be starting to create here the body of our character. So right here we are going to be starting with a chain of 1, and then into the same stitch where you've created the chain of 1, we are going to be creating our first single crochet, and we are going to be placing a stitch marker right into that first single crochet. And then now we are just gonna go around with single crochets until we get to the other side, so we can also create some single crochets here on top of this chain. So create your last single crochet from here. I'm going to be counting how many I have so you guys know. This yarn is going to go inside of the leg, so we don't have to weave in that one. And if you guys are wondering how many stitches I have right here at the moment, I have 12 stitches as we have started right at the beginning right here. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So once you have your 12 single crochets, we are going to be creating 2 single crochets here into our chain 2, the chain 2 right here. So 1 into this one, and then 1 into the next one. So we have 2 single crochets right here, and then we are going to be repeating the same into the other side right here on top of the other leg. So we are going to be creating the single crochets. Try to do the same amount as we did on this side. So I'm going to be doing 12 on this side as well. So I have also created 12 single crochets on this side, exactly as we did on this side right here. And then right here we also have to create the 2 single crochets here on the chain in between the 2 legs. So that's what I'm going to be doing. There is 1 stitch right here and 1 right here. So you're going to be creating the 2 single crochets right here and then connect to this side here with a slip stitch. So 1 single crochet right here, and then another single crochet on this next stitch right here. So now we are going to be removing the stitch marker, and we are going to be connecting right here with a slip stitch, just to connect both sides together. And we also have to keep in mind that we have 28 stitches that we have to cover going all the way around. So we have 12 on this side, 12 on the other side, and 2 on both of the sides right here, at the front and at the back of the middle of the legs. So 28 in total. So to create the single crochets is exactly as we did here to the leg. So I'm just going to show you guys this row. So you're going to chain 1, and then into this very first stitch right here, this one right here, just right beside the chain 1 that we've created. And then we're going to be returning the stitch marker, and then we are going to go all the way around right here with single crochets, making sure to cover the 2 single crochets that we have on both sides right here as well. So I have right here 28 single crochets. Once you have gone all the way around, you want to remove the stitch marker, go through that stitch where the stitch marker was, and then you're going to be slip stitching the 2 sides together. So we have created the legs, which are 5 rows, and then here we have created 2 rows already. So from this row right here. So now we are going to be creating 16 rows, just going all the way up. That's what I'm going to be doing. And when I come back, I'll show you guys the last 2 rows with some decreases that we are going to be doing. So I have 2 rows completed right here. So I'm going to go ahead and do all of the other rows that I have to do. So once I have 16 rows in total, I will be back, and then we are going to be doing some decreases. So as you guys can see right here, I have completed my 16 rows that I had to do just going up. So now we are going to be doing rows number 17 and 18 with some decreases. But before we create the 2 rows here with the decreases, we are going to be just filling here half of our amigurumi with stuffing, just so we have enough room right here to go through the legs right here. If we do the decreases, we are not going to have enough room to put our hands through here. So now we can just finish closing, and then we're going to be putting even more stuffing inside. So to decrease, you're going to be first chaining 1 and create your very first single crochet and add your stitch marker right here. And then now we are going to be doing the decrease. So how we are going to be doing the decrease, it's also very easy. So you're going to go through the next stitch, you're going to pull up a loop, and then you're going to go into the next one and pull up another loop. So now we're going to be having 3 loops right here, but covering 2 stitches. So once you've done that, you're going to yarn over and pull through all those loops together. So that's how you do a decrease. So now you're going to be doing 1 single crochet, and then in the next 2 stitches you're going to be doing another decrease. So it's 1 single crochet and then 1 decrease, 1 single crochet and 1 decrease. So you're going to be doing that going all the way around. If you got at the end and you don't have an even number to create a decrease, you can just create a single crochet right here and then just finish it off the row. So now we are going to be repeating one more row with the decreases. So just follow exactly the same steps as the previous row. As you can see, by decreasing 2 rows, you already decreases the sizing here of the top, and that's the amount of rows we need just to create that. So now we are going to be closing here right in the middle, but we are going to be stuffing first. So I'm just going to be getting right here a little bit of the yarn so we can close and fasten off and weave in here the top. So I'm just going to be cutting a little bit of the yarn so we can fasten off right here now. So you can chain 1 and fasten off. So what we are going to be doing is just stuffing all the way up right here now. So you can add as much stuffing as you would like. I think I'm happy with that. I don't want mine to be too hard. You also want to make sure that you know which one is going to be the front and the back. I'm going to have the back as this one so I can attach the back right here, because here is where the joining of the yarn is. And with the back right here, we're not going to be able to see any joining anymore. So I'm just going to place a stitch marker right here just so I know that this is going to be the front of my Among Us character. So I'm going to be threading now here my yarn into my tapestry needle, and we are going to be closing this hole right here. So I'm just gonna go through the stitches here in a zigzag motion. I'm going to be placing a stitch marker here so I know that I've started right here, and I'm just gonna go all the way around. So once you've covered all the way around, we are just going to be pulling this yarn to close the hole here at the top. I'm going to be removing my stitch marker and then just closing the top right here. You can move the stuffing around, and now we are just going to be going kind of around just to tie here the yarn and to fasten off and weave in. I'm going to fasten off right here, so create a loop and go through the loop here with your yarn and needle just to create a fasten off right here. I'm going to be creating another fasten off right here, and then I'm going to weave in the yarn. So what I found useful was just to go through the top right here, very close to the fasten off, and then I go through the stuffing, and then I move the needle to basically the back here, and then I just go through with my yarn. And then right here, I just cut the yarn, and then the yarn is going to be basically on the inside of our amigurumi. So that's how I found it to be a little bit easier. So the body, it's basically now completed. We are going to be doing now the bag that is going to go here at the back, which is super easy. So for the bag, we are going to be starting first with a slip knot, and then we are going to be chaining 9 plus 1. I have here 9, then I'm going to chain 1 to basically go into the next row. So we are going to be skipping the number 10 chain. We're gonna go into number 9 right here, and then create single crochets going all the way down. So now we are going to be doing 3 rows of single crochets going up. So you're going to chain 1, go into the very first stitch that you can find. You're going to be creating your single crochet and then go all the way down with single crochets. And into this stitch right here is going to be the last single crochet. Then I'm gonna do 1 more row. So now to go up, this right here, it's basically the base of the bag. So the base right here. So now we are gonna create the sides, and then lastly we're going to be creating the top right here. So we are going to chain 1 and then turn the project. We are going to be working on the back loops only, and then here we are going to be creating the single crochets all the way to the other side. You can add a stitch marker right here to know that you've started right here. So once you get here on the side, we are going to be creating a single crochet right here, and then 2 single crochets here on the side, and then 1 here in the corner, exactly as we did on the other side. And then for the bottom here, we're also going to be doing the single crochets. So just do single crochets going all the way down. So when you get to the other side, we're going to be creating a single crochet here in the corner, and then 2 single crochets here for the side. Just here, 2 single crochets. And then we are going to be creating another single crochet here into the very first stitch, and then we are going to be joining the 2 sides here together. Try getting that stitch right here. What we are going to be doing now is just going all the way around with single crochets all the way up for 10 rows, including this one also counts as a row, so we can place a stitch marker right here. And to go up here is basically the same technique that I showed you guys for the legs and the body right here. So we are going to chain 1 into this very first stitch right here, a single crochet, going to mark the first single crochet down, and then we are just going to be creating single crochets going all the way around. Then I'm going to be joining here with the other side with the slip stitch. So this one is going to be exactly like the others. You just cut a little bit and leave this one here on the inside. We don't have to weave in that. So right here I have 26 stitches, if you guys are just wondering how many stitches I have for the bag as well. So what I'm going to be doing now is create the 10 rows that I have to do for my bag right here, and then I'll be back with you guys to show you the next step, which is basically just closing our bag and adding the stuffing as well. So this is how it looks like once you have 10 rows completed, as you guys can see. So what I'm going to be doing now is just creating a little cover here for the top, and I'm just going to be slip stitching just 1 stitch here. So just 1 stitch here. So we have 2 stitches for this side and then 2 for the other side, because now we are going to be creating a little cover. You'll see what I'm talking about. So I'm going to chain 1, single crochet into this one right here. I'm going to be placing a stitch marker into the first single crochet so we know when to come back to this one. And then I'm just going to be creating single crochets until here the other side. I'm going to let you know how many single crochets I did. So I've done right here 11 single crochets in total. So now we are going to be creating 2 more rows here on top of these 11 single crochets right here. So we are going to be chaining 1, turning project, going into this very first stitch, single crochet, and then go all the way to the stitch marker. and then I'm going to be creating one more row on top of this one. So this is how it looks like once you complete the 3 rows. So now you guys can go ahead and fasten off right here, but leaving a little bit of yarn so we can sew all the way around right here. So we are just going to be filling this up with some stuffing. You want to make sure that you don't do too full, because you still want to have kind of like a square look to the bag. So you don't want to put too much stuffing inside, so it's going to be kind of like rounded. I'm just going to remove some right here. So now we are just going to be sewing here the top with the base. Just a very simple sewing, just closing both of them together. I'm just going to be moving the yarn here to the basically here at the beginning, and then from here we can start closing and sewing the 2 together. You can just move it around once you have finished sewing all the way around right here. So once you've finished sewing, you can fasten off and weave in exactly as we did to the top of the body. So this is how the bag looks like. You can just move it around so you can fix the stuffing inside. And before we sew the bag into our body, we are going to be doing the eyes, so we can sew everything kind of together. So now for the eyes, we are going to be starting with a slip knot, and then we are going to be chaining 8 plus 1 for the turn. So 8 right here plus 1 so we can turn, and then we are going to be creating right here 4 rows in total first, and then I'm going to be showing you guys the next step. So I'm going to go ahead right here and create 4 rows going up, and then I'll be back. So once you have 4 rows here in total, we are going to go around here with single crochets until this side right here. So I'm going to be just placing a stitch marker, so just going all the way around right here on this side, so the sides and the bottom right here with single crochets. So when you get here to the other side, we are going to be removing the stitch marker, and then we are going to be connecting here both sides with a slip stitch. So now we can chain 1 and fasten off. So now the last step that we have to do is just to go around all of the stitches in black. I just have this black right here, which is a yarn weight number 3. But if you have the same one that you're doing the rest here of the Among Us character, then I would recommend you guys using the same yarn. But if you don't, then you can do what I'm going to be doing now. So I'm going to be using the same hook as well. So I'm just going to be creating a slip knot right here, and I'm going to be attaching into any of these stitches right here. I'm going to be doing into this one. So right here, just attaching right here with the slip stitch. I'm going to chain 1, and then on each stitch I'm going to be doing 2 single crochets. So into the first one I did 2, so into the next one I'm also going to be doing 2, and then the next one, so I'm going to be doing 2 single crochets on each stitch going all the way around. once you got here into the other side, I'm just gonna go through the first one, and then I'm just gonna be connecting both sides with this slip stitch. So this is the eye completed. I'm just gonna be doing one row, just as I did right here. So now I can just chain one and fasten off, but I'm also going to be leaving a little bit of yarn so we can sew this into the body of our character. All these yarns right here we are going to be putting on the inside, but we are going to be cutting a little bit off. So right here we have the eyes, the bag, and the body. So we have the three parts that we are going to be just joining all of them together. The bag is going to go here at the back, and the eyes will go right here somewhere. So right here. My goodness, you can already see how it looks like. Oh my god, I'm so excited. It looks so cute. Also, something that I forgot to mention at the beginning of the video is that I'm going to be using a few pins just so I can place exactly what I want and then sew everything in place. So first I'm going to be sewing the eyes here in place so that I sew on the right side, and then we are going to be sewing here the bag at the back. And what I'm going to be doing is just pinning this in place. We are going to be sewing all the way around, but we're still going to be leaving a little hole so we can put the stuffing inside. So I'm just going to be getting one stitch from the body right here, and then one stitch from the eyes, and then just sew that in place. One stitch from the body, one stitch from the eyes, and sew it together. Super simple, no secrets. So now I'm just going to be stuffing here the eyes with a little bit of the stuffing, but you don't want to make it too kind of sticking out. It's just a little bit so we can keep the eyes a little bit sticking out, but we don't want it to be too much, because otherwise it can look a little bit weird. So we can just check. I think this is good enough. I'm just gonna be finishing adding some here. So as you can see, it's just to fill here the eyes just a little bit. I'm gonna be removing this stitch marker as well. And now we can just go ahead and finish closing the eyes right here. So now you guys can just fasten off, weave in. So now for this white part right here, you guys can just decide how you want it. I really liked it to be on top and also right in the middle, but you guys can also do a little bit to the side, as I think is more like the original, but I do like it to be on top and in the middle right here. So that's what I'm going to be doing for this one as well. I'm going to be probably using like 3 yarns here together. So I'm using 3 yarns here on my tapestry needle. And I'm going to be making a knot here at the end. Just like a double knot into the same place. First, let's choose the sizing that we want. I want about that size, I think. So from this point to this point, maybe, yeah, I think so. So let's go through this stitch right here and come out from the other side where we want this white light to be. and we will try to wiggle the knot through this stitch right here, and we're just gonna go through. Then we are gonna do one more time until we like the sizing of this light here on top. So you're going to be moving the yarn to the side a little bit, and we are going to try to fasten off right here underneath. And now we have the eyes completed. So excited, oh my goodness. Now we are going to be sewing here the bag in place. So now you guys can just decide how you want to place the bag right here and sew it in place. I'm going to be doing this, the bottom here at the bottom, and then the top where I did the sewing for the top at the top. But you guys can just work it out and choose however you guys want. I'm going to be placing it, as you can see right here. It's right at the beginning of the legs right here. So let's try and do exactly the same. So it's more like around here. And then we are going to be pinning the bag in place. So that's how I've just pinned the bag in place, and I'm just going to be sewing this now exactly how I've pinned right here. So I'm going to be getting a little bit of the gray yarn, and then I'm just going to be sewing the two together, going all the way around exactly how we sewed the eyes in place. I'm going to be making a knot here at the back of the bag, so we don't really see the knot because we are going to be sewing this all the way around anyways. And then I'm going to be cutting just a little bit of that, then just moving it to the middle. And now we're just going to be sewing this in place. My goodness, I'm so excited. So now, just to finish it off, this cuteness, I just need to fasten off and weave in. No way, I'm so excited. Guys. No way, this is so cute. This is just the cutest thing ever. I cannot even believe that we are done. This was the cutest tutorial ever. So I'm just gonna be measuring them as well, if you guys are wondering the sizing, because you guys always ask me and I always forget to measure the final project for you guys. So let's measure now. So this one is around 22 centimeters. That's 8.5 inches. And then this way, it's around 17 centimeters. 6.5 inches. And then these ones right here, they are around 11 by 9.5. So around 4.5 by 3.5. And then this one, it's around 8.5 by 6. So 3 inches by nearly 2.5. And you also can use any yarn weight. You just have to follow exactly the same pattern. I've used the same pattern to create all of them. The only difference is that I've used a different yarn weight. How amazing is that? You don't really need to change anything about them to make in different sizings. You just have to change the sizing of the yarn that you're using. Also guys, let me know in the comments below which one is your favorite. The tiny one, this one, the green one, or the gray one. Which one would you do actually? I would make all of them in this size because I think it's just so cool. But let me know in the comments which one you are making, and also share with me on my social media on Instagram and Facebook all your creations. I love seeing what you guys do using my projects as well. So thank you guys so much again for watching, and see you guys next Friday. Bye.
Goodbye.